Nobody tells you about the silence. You retire, the house empties, and suddenly cooking for one feels like the loneliest job in Britain. A recent Age UK survey found that over 1 million pensioners go an entire day without eating a proper meal, not because they cannot afford food, but because cooking for one person feels pointless. Number 18 on this list was invented by a 74-year-old woman in Doncaster who had not cooked a hot meal in 3 months. Number 7 costs 38p per portion and tastes better than most pub grub. And number 1 is so simple you will wonder why nobody told you sooner. These 25 freezer meals take 5 minutes to prepare, feed you properly, and prove that eating alone does not mean eating badly. Before we start, hit subscribe. Let us count them down. Number 25. Beans on toast cups. This is the simplest freezer meal you will ever make, and it starts with a muffin tin. Press slices of white bread into each cup, brush with a little butter, and bake at 180 degrees for 8 minutes until they turn golden and crispy. Fill each toast cup with baked beans, top with a pinch of grated cheddar, and let them cool completely. Wrap each one in cling film and freeze flat on a tray. When you want a hot meal, unwrap 2 or 3, place them on a baking sheet, and reheat from frozen at 180 degrees for 12 minutes. The toast stays crispy. The beans go bubbly. The cheese melts into a little golden cap. A tin of beans costs about 25p and makes 6 cups. A whole loaf of bread is 75p. You have spent barely £1, and you have got 6 proper portions sitting in the freezer waiting for you. No washing up except the muffin tin and a baking tray. Done. Number 24. Frozen egg muffins. Crack 4 eggs into a bowl and whisk them with a fork. Add whatever you have. Chopped ham, frozen peas, a bit of grated cheese, leftover vegetables from yesterday. Pour the mixture into a silicone muffin mold, filling each cup about 3/4 full. Bake at 180 degrees for 15 minutes. Let them cool, then pop them out and freeze in a sandwich bag. In the morning or at lunchtime, microwave 2 of them for 90 seconds. They puff up warm and soft, like little omelettes you can eat with your hands or on a slice of toast. 4 eggs cost about 60p. A pack of ham is £1. That is 12 egg muffins for under £2. They keep in the freezer for 3 months and they taste like someone actually cooked you breakfast. Number 23. Shepherd's pie portions. Brown 500 grams of lamb mince with a diced onion and a grated carrot. Stir in a tablespoon of tomato puree, a splash of Worcestershire sauce, and half a pint of stock made from a stock cube. Let it simmer for 15 minutes until thick. Meanwhile, boil 4 large potatoes and mash them with butter and a splash of milk. Spoon the meat into individual foil containers, the kind you get from the pound shop, 6 for £1. Top with mashed potato and drag a fork across the surface. Cool completely, cover with foil lids, and freeze. When you fancy a proper tea, put 1 container straight from the freezer into the oven at 190 degrees for 35 minutes. The top goes golden and crispy. The meat bubbles underneath. Your whole kitchen smells like Sunday. 1 batch makes 6 portions. That is 6 nights sorted for about £4 total. 60-odd pence for a shepherd's pie that would cost you £3.50 from the supermarket freezer aisle. Number 22. Sausage and mash parcels. Cook 8 pork sausages in the oven. While they bake, make a big pot of mashed potato. Thick, buttery, the way your mother made it. Lay out squares of cling film. Put a scoop of mash on each one, nestle a sausage on top, and add a spoonful of frozen peas and a drizzle of gravy. Wrap each parcel tight, twisting the ends like a Christmas cracker. Freeze flat. To reheat, unwrap into a microwave-safe bowl and heat for 4 minutes, stirring the mash halfway through. 8 sausages cost about £1.50. A bag of potatoes is £1. Frozen peas, 75p. Gravy granules, 50p. That is 8 complete dinners for under £4. 50 pence a meal. Proper sausage and mash with peas and gravy for 50 pence. Number 21. Cheesy potato soup. Peel and dice 6 potatoes. Fry a chopped onion in butter until soft. Add the potatoes, a pint and a half of chicken stock, and simmer for 20 minutes until the potatoes fall apart. Mash roughly with a fork, leaving some chunks. Stir in a big handful of grated cheddar until it melts through. Season with salt and white pepper. Let it cool completely. Pour into freezer bags, about 1 mugful per bag, squeeze out the air, and lay flat to freeze. When you want soup, snip the corner of the bag, squeeze the frozen block into a saucepan, and heat gently, stirring as it thaws. 10 minutes, and you have a bowl of thick, creamy potato soup that tastes like a hug from someone who actually cares whether you have eaten today. 6 portions for about 2 pounds. Number 20. Corned beef pasties. These are proper handheld meals, and they freeze like a dream. Dice half a tin of corned beef with a small boiled potato and a spoonful of frozen peas. Season with pepper and a dash of brown sauce. Roll out ready-made short crust pastry, cut circles using a saucer as a guide, fill 1/2, fold over, and crimp the edges with a fork. Bake at 200 degrees for 20 minutes until golden. Cool and freeze in bags. Reheat from frozen in the oven at 180 for 15 minutes. A tin of corned beef is about £1.60. A block of pastry is £1. You get 6 pasties from 1 batch. That is a hot, filling pasty for about 45p each. You can eat it on a plate with beans or straight from your hand watching Countdown. No judgment here. Number 19. Fish finger wraps. Take 4 fish fingers and cook them according to the packet. While they bake, lay out a soft tortilla wrap. Spread a thin layer of tartar sauce or mayonnaise. When the fish fingers come out, lay them down the middle of the wrap, add a handful of shredded iceberg lettuce, roll it tight, and wrap in foil. Freeze. When you want one, take it out of the freezer in the morning. By lunchtime, it has defrosted perfectly in the fridge. Or microwave for 2 minutes if you cannot wait. A box of 10 fish fingers is about £1.50. A pack of wraps is £1. Tartar sauce, 80p. That is 5 wraps for about 70p each. Fish finger wraps were always a Friday treat for grandchildren. There is no law that says you cannot make them for yourself. First pattern break. Here is something most pensioners do not realize. Your freezer is not just storage, it is a kitchen assistant that never calls in sick. The trick is portioning before you freeze. Most people cook a big batch and freeze the whole lot in one container, then have to defrost the entire thing when they only want 1 serving. Individual portions in foil trays, freezer bags, or even old margarine tubs, that is the secret. Label everything with a bit of masking tape and a marker pen. Write what it is and the date. Your freezer becomes a menu. Monday is shepherd's pie. Tuesday is soup. Wednesday is a pasty. No decisions, no waste, no standing in front of the fridge at 5:30 wondering what the point is. Number 17. Frozen mashed potato scoops. This sounds too simple to work, but it changes everything. Make a big batch of mashed potato. Let it cool. Scoop it onto a baking tray lined with greaseproof paper using an ice cream scoop or a large spoon. Freeze the scoop solid, then transfer to a freezer bag. When you need mash with anything, take out 2 or 3 scoops, microwave for 3 minutes, stir with butter, done. Perfect mash in 3 minutes. No peeling, no boiling, no draining. A heavy pot with dodgy wrists. A 2-kilogram bag of potatoes makes about 20 scoops. That is 10 meals worth of mash for £1. Number 16. Chicken curry portions. Dice 2 chicken breasts and fry with a sliced onion. Add 2 tablespoons of curry paste, the mild Patax one in the jar, a tin of chopped tomatoes, and a tin of coconut milk. Simmer for 20 minutes. Let it cool and portion into individual containers. Freeze. Reheat in the microwave for 4 minutes, stirring halfway through. Serve with microwave rice, the kind that takes 90 seconds in the pouch. The whole curry costs about £4 to make and gives you 6 portions. Under 70p per serving with rice. That is a chicken curry that tastes like the takeaway down the road, except you made it yourself and it did not cost you £8 plus delivery. Number 15. Cheese and onion potato cakes. Mash leftover potatoes or make fresh mash. Mix in grated cheddar, finely chopped spring onion, salt and pepper. Shape into flat rounds about the size of your palm. Dust with a little flour. Fry in butter until golden on both sides. Let them cool on a wire rack, then freeze on a tray before transferring to a bag. Reheat from frozen in the oven at 180 for 12 minutes or fry gently in a pan. 4 potato cakes with a fried egg and beans is a proper tea. A tin of beans, 2 eggs, and 4 potato cakes costs you about 50p total. That is the kind of meal your mother would have been proud of. Number 14. Frozen gravy cubes. Make a big jug of proper gravy. Bisto granules are fine, no shame in that, but make it thicker than usual. Pour it into ice cube trays and freeze solid. Pop the gravy cubes into a freezer bag. When you need gravy, drop 3 or 4 cubes into a mug, microwave for 90 seconds, stir and pour. Hot gravy in 90 seconds without washing a saucepan. A packet of Bisto makes about 20 gravy cubes. That is 20 meals worth of gravy for 80p. Pour it over mash, over a pie, over sausages. Gravy makes everything better, and now you have it on demand. Number 13. Ham and pea soup. Fry a diced onion in butter. Add a bag of dried split peas, a liter of ham stock, or water with 2 ham stock cubes, and a leftover ham hock if you have one from the butcher. Simmer for an hour until the peas collapse into thick green soup. Season with pepper. Cool and portion into mugs worth of freezer bags. From the freezer, tip a frozen block into a saucepan and heat gently for 10 minutes, stirring as it melts. A bag of split peas costs about 80p. 2 stock cubes cost pennies. You get 8 bowls of soup from one batch. 10 pence a bowl for soup thick enough that your spoon stands up in it. Your grandmother's grandmother made this same soup. It kept miners going through shifts underground, and it will keep you going through a Tuesday afternoon when the heating is on low and the weather is grey. Number 12. Frozen sandwiches. Not every freezer meal needs reheating. Make a batch of sandwiches using fillings that freeze well. Cheese and pickle. Ham and mustard. Corned beef and onion. Egg mayo does not freeze. Skip that one. Wrap each sandwich tightly in cling film. Freeze. Take one out first thing in the morning, and by lunchtime it has defrosted perfectly. The bread is soft, the filling is ready. A whole loaf of bread, some cheese and a jar of pickle gives you 10 sandwiches for about £2.50. 25 pence each. You will never skip lunch again because you could not be bothered to make something. Number 11. Mince and onion pie filling. Brown 500 grams of beef mince with 2 diced onions. Add a tablespoon of flour, stir it through, then pour in half a pint of beef stock and a good splash of Worcestershire sauce. Simmer until thick and rich. Cool and freeze in portions. When pie night comes around, tip the frozen filling into an oven-proof dish. Top with a sheet of ready rolled puff pastry. Brush with beaten egg and bake at 200 degrees for 25 minutes. Golden pastry. Rich meat filling. A proper pie for about 80p. That is cheaper than a tin of Frey Bentos, and it tastes 10 times better. You can also skip the pastry and serve the filling over mash or in a Yorkshire pudding. Second pattern break. Here is a truth nobody says out loud. Cooking for one is not just about food, it is about routine. When you live alone, the days bleed together. Monday feels like Thursday feels like Sunday. Making a freezer meal every weekend gives you a project. Something to plan, something to do with your hands, something that produces a result you can see and count. 6 foil trays in the freezer on Sunday means 6 evenings that week where you sit down to a proper hot meal at a proper time. Structure does not have to mean a schedule pinned to the wall. Sometimes it just means knowing that tonight's tea is already sorted. Number 10. Sausage rolls. Mix 500 grams of sausage meat with a finely diced onion, a teaspoon of dried sage, salt and pepper. Roll out a sheet of puff pastry. Lay the sausage meat in a line down the center. Fold the pastry over, seal with a fork, and cut into individual rolls. Brush with beaten egg. Bake at 200 degrees for 20 minutes until puffed and golden. Cool on a wire rack, then freeze in a bag. Reheat from frozen at 180 for 12 minutes. A pack of sausage meat costs about £1.50. Puff pastry is £1. You get 12 sausage rolls for £2.50. Just over 20p each. Hot sausage rolls from your own freezer whenever you fancy one. With a bowl of soup from number 13, that is a proper lunch. Number 9. Bolognese sauce. Fry a diced onion and a grated carrot in olive oil. Add 500 grams of beef mince and brown it. Stir in a tin of chopped tomatoes, a squeeze of tomato puree, a teaspoon of mixed herbs, and a beef stock cube dissolved in a splash of hot water. Simmer for 30 minutes until rich and thick. Cool and freeze in portions. Microwave for 4 minutes, stir, microwave for 2 more. Boil spaghetti while it heats. Proper spag bowl in under 10 minutes. One batch makes 6 portions. Serve it with pasta one night, on a jacket potato the next, in a wrap with cheese the night after. 3 different meals from the same base, about 65p per portion. Your freezer just became an Italian restaurant. Number 8. Cottage pie cups. These are individual cottage pies made in a muffin tin, perfect for single portions. Press a thin layer of mashed potato into each muffin cup. Fill with leftover bolognese or any cooked mince mixture. Top with more mash and rough up the surface with a fork. Bake at 190 degrees for 15 minutes. Cool, pop them out, and freeze on a tray. Reheat from frozen in the microwave for 3 minutes or in the oven for 12. 2 cottage pie cups and a side of peas is a full meal. You get 12 from one batch, which means 6 meals for 2 people or 12 meals for 1. Cost depends on whether you use leftover mince, but we are talking 30 to 40p a serving. Number 7. Chip shop curry sauce. Fry a diced onion in butter until golden. Stir in 2 tablespoons of curry powder, a tablespoon of flour, a tablespoon of tomato puree, and a teaspoon of sugar. Gradually add a pint of chicken stock, stirring constantly. Simmer for 15 minutes until thick and glossy. Let it cool and freeze in ice cube trays, just like the gravy cubes from number 14. When you fancy chips and curry sauce, oven cook your chips and pop 4 curry sauce cubes in a mug. Microwave for 2 minutes. That is proper chip shop curry sauce for about 38p per portion, including the chips. The kind of curry sauce that smells like Friday night and tastes like walking home from the chippy in the rain. Nobody should have to give that up just because they live alone. Number 6. Frozen pancakes. Make a batch of pancakes on a quiet morning. The basic batter is 100 grams of flour, 1 egg, and 300 milliliters of milk. Whisk until smooth. Fry thin pancakes in a little butter. Stack them with squares of greaseproof paper between each one so they do not stick. Freeze the whole stack in a bag. When you want a pancake, peel one off, microwave for 30 seconds, and fill with whatever you like. Lemon and sugar, jam, golden syrup, banana and Nutella if you're feeling adventurous. One batch makes 8 to 10 pancakes. The batter costs about 40p. That is a warm sweet pudding or a quick breakfast for under 5 pence each. Number 5. Frozen Yorkshire puddings. Make Yorkshire pudding batter. 100 grams of plain flour, 3 eggs, 200 milliliters of milk, pinch of salt. Put a teaspoon of vegetable oil in each cup of a 12-hole muffin tin. Heat the tin in the oven at 220 degrees until the oil smokes. Pour in the batter. Bake for 20 minutes until risen and golden. Let them cool completely, then freeze in a bag. Reheat from frozen at 200 degrees for 5 minutes. Crispy, puffy Yorkshire puddings that taste homemade because they are homemade. Fill them with leftover stew with mince and gravy, with sausage and mash. A Yorkshire pudding turns any freezer meal into a Sunday dinner. 12 puddings for about 50p, 4 pence each. Third pattern break. Here is what the supermarkets do not want you to know. Those frozen ready meals marketed at pensioners, the ones in the small portions with the big writing on the box, they cost between £2 and £4 each. For a lasagna that weighs 350 grams. For a shepherd's pie that would not fill a child. For a curry with less chicken than you would put in a sandwich. You're paying for the packaging, the marketing, and the convenience. Everything on this list costs less than £1 per portion. Most of it costs less than 50p. The only investment is an hour or two on a Sunday afternoon. The reward is a freezer full of meals that taste like someone who loves you made them, because someone did. You made them, for yourself, and that counts. Number 4. Leek and potato bake. Slice 4 leeks and fry them gently in butter until soft. Layer the leeks with sliced potatoes in a foil tray. Pour over a mixture of cream and chicken stock, about half and half. Sprinkle grated cheese on top. Cover with foil and bake at 180 degrees for 40 minutes. Then remove the foil and bake for another 10 until the cheese is golden and bubbling. Cool completely. Cover again and freeze. Reheat from frozen at 180 for 30 minutes. This is proper comfort food. Creamy, cheesy, warm and filling. A leek and potato bake with a slice of bread and butter is a complete meal. 4 portions for about £3, 75 pence each for something that tastes like it belongs on a restaurant menu. Number 3. Frozen fruit crumble. Tip a bag of frozen mixed berries into a foil tray. Sprinkle with a tablespoon of sugar. In a bowl, rub together 100 grams of flour, 50 grams of butter, and 50 grams of sugar until it looks like breadcrumbs. Scatter the crumble over the fruit. Do not bake it. Freeze it raw. When you want pudding, put the frozen crumble straight into the oven at 190 degrees for 30 minutes. The fruit bubbles up through the topping. The crumble goes golden and crunchy. Serve with custard from a carton or a scoop of vanilla ice cream. You have just made a hot pudding that took 3 minutes to assemble and costs about 60p per portion. 4 portions from one batch. Hot fruit crumble on a cold evening. There is no good reason to deny yourself that pleasure. Number 2. 1 pot chicken stew. Dice 2 chicken thighs and fry with a chopped onion. Add 2 diced potatoes, a sliced carrot, a handful of frozen peas and a pint of chicken stock. Add a teaspoon of dried thyme and a bay leaf. Simmer for 25 minutes until everything is tender and the broth has thickened. Remove the bay leaf, cool and portion into containers. Freeze. Reheat in the microwave for 5 minutes, stirring once. This is the kind of stew your mother made when the weather turned. Thick, warming, full of vegetables and tender chicken. It costs about £3 for a whole batch and makes 5 portions. 60 pence a serving. 60 pence for a meal that fills your kitchen with the smell of proper cooking and reminds you that you deserve to eat well. Number 1. The Sunday roast dinner kit. Here is the one that changes everything. On a Sunday, roast a small chicken. While it cooks, make mash, boil carrots, cook peas, and prepare a jug of thick gravy. When everything is ready, sit down and eat 1 plate of proper Sunday roast. Then take the leftovers and build freezer kits. Into each foil tray goes a portion of sliced chicken, a scoop of mash, a spoonful of carrots and peas, and a pour of gravy over everything. Cover with foil and freeze. From 1 small chicken and a few pounds worth of vegetables, you get 4 or 5 complete roast dinner trays. Reheat from frozen at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. That is a full roast dinner. The kind with proper chicken and real gravy and vegetables that actually taste of something, for about £1.20 per tray. Every pensioner in Britain deserves a roast dinner more than once a week. Now you can have one whenever you like. Wednesday evening, Thursday lunchtime. It does not matter. Your freezer holds a Sunday roast with your name on it. Here is my challenge. Pick 3 meals from this list. Just 3. Make them this weekend. Fill your freezer with portions that have your name and the date written on them in marker pen. Then next week, when it is 5:30 and the thought of cooking feels like too much, open that freezer door and pick something. Heat it up, sit down at the table, eat it properly, on a plate, with a cup of tea. You cooked that. You planned that. You looked after yourself. Tell me in the comments which 3 you are going to try first. I want to know if the shepherd's pie gets more love than the sausage rolls. I want to know if anyone else makes frozen gravy cubes already. Because eating alone does not mean eating badly, it means eating cleverly. And now you know how.